was because I saw the difference between the Pope, or the priest, and the nuns. The nuns is definitely after their name, nothing. They have nothing. They're truly serving with nothing. Whereas the priests, they got everything. They have cars, they have the nuns doing all their work, cleaning and all that other stuff. So we see that God has actually called me into a ministry where you don't need much, and that He will provide. And so along the way, He has done that. And you'll hear more about those things. So let's begin. So we're looking at QALY, which is quality adjusted life in years. And so when we look at this measurement of health or disease burden, which includes the quality as well as the quantity of life lived, it assumes that health is a function of length of life and quality of life combined. So it has to be quantity and quality. I mean, who wants to live to be 100 if the last 20 years is in your bed and you can't move? Nobody wants that. If your mind is dull and you can't do much, who would want that to stay living when you can't really actually be effective? So we want both quantity and quality, right? And so this combines the values into a single index number. So when we're looking at this, in order to calculate this, it's very simple. To determine this, one multiplies the utility value associated with a given state of health by the years lived in that state. So if I've had no sickness and haven't been bedridden, that means that for 20, 30 years, 40 years, that means that that's a good state of health, right? So a year of life lived in a perfect health is worth 1 year, right? One quality, QALY. So that's 1 year of life times one utility value. So a year of life lived in a state of less than perfect health is worth less than 1. So 1 year of life times less than 1 quality value. So 1 year of life lived in a situation with utility of 0.5, which would say like bedridden for a half of a year, would be signed 0.5. It's very simple, right? So a whole year would be a 1 if you have good quality life. If half of that year you weren't living very well, it would be a 0.5. So it's easy to look at. So a half a year lived in perfect health is equivalent to a 0.5 as well. So you can see it either way, right?
And Dr. Journey, will we be getting module from you on this, or we need to write copy?
I can actually put something together, like, and then you can just put it on a USB or something.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So death is assigned a value of 0 because there's no quantity or quality there. And so let's take a look here. So we've got perfect health as at 1 and death is 0, right? So our health-related quality of life, we can see in the blue there. And if there's other things that are going on, we see here, like such as being healthy, having a heart attack, right? So then we have to do something with an intervention in order to live longer, and later on we might get a stroke. So with that, we see that without the intervention, you're going to live to a certain period of time, and then without another intervention, we'll see death sooner. Whereas if we go with the one on top there, we see that someone has a heart attack around that time in their life, and then they do an intervention, they're going to live longer, and then maybe later on they may get a stroke at a later time, and then of course death. So we see that the measure of therapeutic benefit here is definitely better than nothing at all, if we don't do nothing at all. So we have two types of treatment. We have treatment A, which is no intervention, and we have treatment B with intervention. So we could pretty much say the person that stays home and doesn't go to the hospital is probably A, and the people that come to the hospital is possibly B, or it could be what we're doing could be B. But what we're doing is treatment C. What we're doing with treatment C is we're not only giving them treatment for B and having their life live longer, but we're also, the C part of it is not just temporal, but it's eternal. We're sharing the gospel with people. So this is what we're doing. We're not doing treatment A, we're not doing treatment B, we're doing treatment C.
Wow.
Because we can do the treatment, we can help preserve their life for even longer than probably treatment B, because we're also going to share with them eternal life.
Yes.
And when they got eternal life, that's all the difference in the world. Because when Jesus was on earth, he wasn't just healing people. He was making sure that they knew about the kingdom, that they were knowing about who he was. And so that's the biggest thing that we got with what we do as Seventh-day Adventists. So the perspective here is any intervention that can affect eternity is infinitely more potent than the greatest intervention that can merely affect this temporal life. We're not trying to make people be healthy. That's not the goal. The goal is making sure that they're ready for heaven, making sure that they have a connection with God and have that connection individually. Because if they don't have an individual connection with Jesus, then we failed. And so how do we do that? I teach at a university that is a for-profit university. I teach at a university that when I was teaching on campus, and I noticed a student wasn't doing their best on their papers, they knew that I would call them and say, hey, with our break, can I talk to you? And I would tell them up front that if I ever ask that, well, I want to talk to you, it's all good. It's all good stuff. And I just want to keep you inspired and motivated. Because I didn't want them to think that, oh, the professor is trying to get a hold of me and now I'm in trouble. I didn't want them to have that mindset. And so I remember a young girl, and when break came, I said, I would like to speak with you for a few minutes. And I said to her, are you okay? Because I noticed that your writing is not up to par like it was. And I said, is there anything that I can do to help you? You don't have to tell me what your problem is. Can I pray for you? And she said, yes. And so I prayed. And you know what happened? She just started crying. And she said, thank you so much. I realize that you truly care for me because you are willing to say, how can I help you to improve what you're doing with her schoolwork, to help her along, to figure out what she needs to do in her life because some hard times was happening. This is what we have to see. And that's, to me, is the spiritual sense of being connected with God. We go around like this, trying to do our work because we want to get our work done. I see this happening even at our lifestyle centers. When I was working at UG Pines, same thing. I would come in and I'm happy. Hey, how are you today? Da 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 da. Some people wouldn't even say anything. And I'm like, how rude. They don't even say nothing. And in my mind, I'm like, what are they weighed down with? Some kind of burden, right? Because we have a lot of responsibility. You guys all have a responsibility here, right? And so then I realized, I come in one day and I saw some of the guests that come to our lifestyle center, and I'm just minding my own business and I'm saying hello because I say hello to everybody. And I'm walking towards the door and I say, hey, how are you guys today? Did you guys take your walk today? Oh, that's great. That's excellent. I hope you guys have a great... They're like, oh, we love you. And I said, wait. You don't even know me. And they said, we love your spirit. And I said, hold that thought. As I walked in and I said, Lord, what's happening inside here? Are we so busy about making sure we have all the equipment and the water and everything set up that we're missing the point of what our real work is? And that's connecting with the patient. It's connecting with the guest. It's connecting with one another. It's about inspiring one another. It's about helping one another, motivating one another, and supporting each other. It's about working together, as well as focusing on the true work, which is the people that have been given to us to look after. And so here we see that this temporal life is important in the way that we live. And as wise practitioners, we must understand the need to influence the internal interests. One thing you can do is maybe make a habit after you're done for the day or come in early and make your little rounds on one of the floors and start praying with the people that are willing to pray. And just open up that conversation. I guess that's probably what you do. Right? And so it's an opportunity, even if some of the other staff would do that too, that would be like, whoa, if you want to go to a hospital, the best hospital to go to is this one. You know, the name would get out there like they care. They go around and they ask, are you okay? How is everything going? Would you like to have prayer? And then, one thing